Fleeting Time is Vexana's core equipment that lets her use her ultimate more often, enabling her to use her powerful ultimate more often. Get Enchanted Talisman in the early game for mana regen and cooldown reduction. It's best to level up Sylvana's second skill first at the beginning. With the second skill as her go-to and the first skill as a backup, she can deal more damage easily. Sylvana can stun enemies with the first skill to make her second skill more effective. She will stop when she hits a target with the second cast of her first skill. When using it as an escape, make sure not to hit any enemies. Besides, the damage of Sylvana's second skill can be greatly increased in the area of her ultimate. In the laning phase, Sylvana can poke enemies with her second skill, and use her first skill to close the distance once they're low on HP. Then she can control them and finish them off with her ultimate. In teamfights, Sylvana can control back row enemies with her ultimate, and then stun them with her first skill. Finally, she can deal damage with her second skill and basic attacks.
Triple kill.
Pairing Sylvana with tanks, for example Atlas and Tigreal, gives her sufficient space to dish out damage.
Legendary. Double kill. Triple kill.
Sylvana has a long attack range and powerful control abilities, which makes her stronger against back row mages and marksmen such as Layla and Valir. On the other hand, she can be weak against fighters with a variety of control abilities, like Martis, because they can easily interrupt her second skill. Sylvana can poke enemies with her second skill in the laning phase. Because she relies more heavily on equipment, it's important to focus more on farming and leveling in the early game to avoid enemies if they have the advantage. In mid and late teamfights, you can skip front row enemy heroes and cut into the less durable enemies in the back row to help the team win the fights. We recommend Sylvana have Flicker as her battle spell, because it gives her a great upper hand by closing in on enemies. Vengeance is also a good choice, because it can boost her durability during her ultimate.
You have slain an enemy.
Passive, Nitez's Resolve. Sylvana's basic attacks deal magic damage and reduce enemies' physical and magic defense with each hit, stacking up to 5 times. Then, she deals extra damage to enemies with a max number of stacks. First skill, Cosmetic Lance. With her first skill, Sylvana deals magic damage to enemies in her path and stuns the first enemy hero hit. When the skill hits a target, she can charge again in a designated direction before she hits another enemy hero and deals magic damage to all enemies around her. Second skill, Spiral Strangling. Sylvana casts her second skill in a designated direction, dealing continuous magic damage to all enemies within range and slightly pulling them toward the center of the area. Ultimate, Imperial Justice. With her ultimate, Sylvana can leap to the target location, restraining the closest enemy hero to the center and gaining attribute bonuses in the area.